Hello, I'm Joel Daring with the Volleyball Hall of Fame. We're speaking one-on-one today with Marv Dunphy, a member of the induction class of 1994. This is Volleyball in Perspective. Welcome back, Marv. I remember your induction ceremony very well, 1994, and it doesn't seem like it was that long ago. You were inducted at that time for what was already a tremendous coaching career, primarily for your great success at Pepperdine University, along with your leadership of the USA national team's gold medal performance at the 88 games. You, of course, were not done, as you've gone on to continue to coach with great success. But what I remember about that day was when you talked about right people, right place, right time. So take us back to being inducted and what that meant to you and how you shared with folks what it meant to you at that time.
Yeah, you know, the neat thing about coaching is that you get to choose the people you go through life with. Assistants and players, and what I didn't know when I first started coaching is that their disappointments, they had an impact on me and I had an impact on them, but their disappointments along the way would be my disappointments, their joys would be my joys, and I've always felt like I've been at the right place, the right time, but mostly with the right people. And referring back to the 88 team, I inherited a gold medal team, and even though only 4 of the players from 84 went to 88, I still felt it was my job not to screw it up. And as it turns out, we were probably maybe 15 to 20% better than the rest of the world, and that was really nice to be part of. You know, to work with Buck and Stavertlik and Karai and Timmons, and then the young group. It was pretty neat.
I went back and watched some video, and so I watched the 88 game, and the first thing, because it's been a while, is Buck in the back row, party, and I mean, it's a different game. Yeah. Great volleyball, great level of play. Talk about the chemistry of that team.
You know, Karch was the leader, but he wasn't a touchy-feely guy who'd go around and make sure everybody's okay. There was just a standard to be met, and he was wired a little bit differently, but I think in his life and his athletic career then and now, he's the same guy. There's standards to be met, and he would meet it. And just about anybody can do something well one time. And I think the great ones do it over and over and over again, and that's what he did. And it was a little rough, you know, if you were to talk to Stork, this young setter coming in, if he set the wrong player at the wrong time, he knew it. Yeah, but a pretty neat group of characters, and I think we maximized our strengths, and we somewhat hit our weaknesses. We weren't a good serving team at all, but we could side out forever. And then when I wanted to win a game or a match, I'd put in Eric Sala. Yeah.
Well, and he jump served.
Yeah.
He was jump serving.
And he jump served, and or he would hit a jump float, and then the jump float was not even in the equation, and he revolutionized, I think, our sport in a lot of ways.
Match point, I think. I think it was Sato, overpass, and Buck, right?
Yeah.
I think that was it. I mean, you had a few, maybe at least a chance or two before that, but he was a finisher. There's no question. Let's go back. Let's go back to your start in volleyball, your own start in volleyball and playing. And when did you start? And
yeah, I grew up in a place called Topanga Canyon, and rural place. My dad had 2 bicycle shops, and we raised some pigs along the side, and there was nothing flat. You know, maybe a little bit of basketball, and I thought I was going to play basketball. And out of high school, I went to Pierce College. I was going to play basketball. Well, in '64, a gentleman by the name of Chuck Nelson moved up the street and into Topanga, and he was on the '64 Olympic team, volleyball. And so I said, there's volleyball, but I still didn't catch on. And but at Pierce College, I get drafted, and everybody got drafted. 1 year in the States, the next year in Vietnam, and I came back, and I got good grades for the first time ever, and went to Japan as an exchange student, saw volleyball, and came back, started a men's volleyball team at Pierce, got a scholarship to Pepperdine. Bert DeGroot and Harlan Cohen were the coaches, and I think getting in late, but being exposed to those two great people and two great coaches, I got a jump on it, and I learned a ton from them. A lot of volleyball from Harlan, and a lot of volleyball, and then also I think how to lead from Bert. And I'll never forget, he used to say things like, you get what you tolerate. If you tolerate serving errors, you're going to get them. You tolerate bad behavior, you're going to get it. And take care of it early, and if you wait, you're going to have a half-crazed animal on your hands when you try to change them down the road. But
the same thing they tell a teacher first day of school in third grade.
Yeah.
Really, isn't it? It's the same thing.
So yeah, so I was able to coach with them after playing at Pepperdine, and they were just key for my development. And then I was exposed to Carl McGowan, Jim Coleman, Doug Beal, and like I said, I was in the right place at the right time, but mostly with the right people. And I think maybe if I had gone to play at another school, it might not have been the same route for me. And so I'm forever grateful for those people. And so right after '84, we went in, and my assistants were Gary Sato, Fred Sturm, Jim Coleman, Carl McGowan, and then Doug was around, and just a great bunch. And how could I screw it up with that?
And you did, but you also talked with I've heard you talk before. You talked with confidence about that team. You did. You made no bones about it.
Yeah.
We were the best team, not in a overconfident way, but that was part of your style.
And the guys, you can fool a fool, you can con a con, but you can't kid a kid. Our guys knew we were good. Right. Yeah, and we trained to reality, and I think at game speed and trained to reality, and it was a fun time for our sport.
The Triple Crown. That was 85, 86. That was in it.
Yeah.
I mean, not easy to win that, but that team was coming together through that period.
Yeah.
Leading up to 88.
Yeah. And so a lot of people will ask me, hey, who's the best player you ever coached? What's the best team that we've ever had in our sport, and so on and so forth. And then the argument was it the 84 team or the 88 team? And I think in reality it was the 86 team, because we had the mix of the guys from '84 and the guys that went on in '88, and probably, I'd say the depth of that outfit was pretty impressive, and some of the best players to ever play the game.
Sure.
Yeah.
Pepperdine's been a constant for you. I mean, it really has been home base. It's got to be a tremendous relationship there, because you've been able to take departure and coach a couple of times, several times. Always coming back.
Well, I don't think in society today that you put in your 40 years and you ride off in the sunset on a white horse. Right. And there's not quite the loyalty that maybe there was back in the day. But Pepperdine let me go away to get my doctorate on John Wooden, come back, and 84 to 88, come back, and then 99 and 2000, help Doug and come back. And so. Yeah, talk about the right people. They have been very supportive in my career.
And then the cycle continues, because I think Jeff Stork was an interim for you. Am I right about that? Was he an interim at Pepperdine?
So he played for me.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I don't know if you know this, he was a great hitter who wanted to hit. Did he tell you the story?
I asked him that. Yeah, he didn't call himself a great hitter, but he said he loved to hit.
He loved to hit, and he was a great hitter. The problem was 6'2" or 6'3", hitters are a dime a dozen, and I, we came to a happy medium for him to set, and so that turned out pretty good.
And I had said to Jeff, in looking back at him, obviously a central figure on that '88 team. For me, at least, I remember the Lefty Attack as kind of when I felt like, as someone in volleyball, that, wow, that's who I remember first. I remember Jeff Stork, and then after that, everybody wants a lefty setter.
Yeah, and in that match, Losef, the setter for the Soviet Union, was lefty, a little bit smaller, but he would kill a ball on two, right?
Yeah.
And then Jeff would kill 2 or 3, and it was like, for a while, it was dueling banjos, and Jeff ended up just, I don't know, something like 12 for 15 hitting, and and they just didn't know what to do
Yeah.
with that.
Yeah. Antonov,
Yeah.
Russia.
Yeah.
Something else, huh? What do you
He was
remember
good.
about?
He was good, but I felt if we then, and maybe even more so then than now, matchups were a big deal. And we felt if we got Timmins on Antonov, that we were okay. And we got that matchup. And we got it the right way. We didn't sneak it or
Right.
cheat, whatever.
Right.
You know, we just looked at tape and we got Timmins on Antonov. And again, going back to that team, the guy that is kind of lost, people saw Stork hitting on two, Timmins hitting out of the back row, Karch and Stavrlik passing a ton of balls. And the guy that was a little bit an unsung hero was Craig Buck.
Yeah.
Because he was a good volleyball player. People say, oh, 6'8", 6'9", he's just, he's a big goon. He could play the game.
Yeah, and he played all the way around.
Yeah, and he was the server of the tournament, the World Championships. But I would ask him, once in a while, hey, a penny for your thoughts. And he had a lot of volleyball in him, and he was a big part of the success. He didn't train real well all the time, but the guys knew. They call him Biggie. They knew that when it was time to be good, he was there.
He was going to be there. What a different game then, traditional scoring. At the end of that match, I think they noted that Timmins, very late in that gold medal match, had 39 kills. I think he had 40. I didn't go back and look at all the stats. 40 kills in a match. I mean, the game's changed a lot, Marv. What have you liked about the changes, and maybe what do you see for the future?
You know what? I hope we don't change so fast just to be changing, and I hope the leadership comes from the International Federation, the FIVB, and that it doesn't come from this groundswell of youth, and high school or NC2A volleyball. I would hope that we would follow the lead of the International Federation. So we're playing the same game, and I see the rules now. The men, we used to go to 30, and Doug talked me into, hey, let's get everybody to 25. But so we went to 25, and we're kind of like in line. Then all of a sudden, the women have all these subs, and the libero is going to be doing this and that, and I don't know if you know, but next year the middle blockers, they can hit, but they can't block. Are you aware of that?
No.
No, I'm being facetious, but it's almost that's where we're going.
I was going to say that's news.
Yeah.
And when you look back at coaching, your philosophy, how would you sum up your coaching philosophy?
Oh boy, it'd probably be better to ask the players.
Yeah. What do you think they'd say? Playing for you, the best part of playing for you was?
Yeah, I think I know the times when I felt pressure, and the fact that we inherited a gold medal team, that was a little bit of pressure, but pretty much I've wanted to teach and coach the right way, and I wish that when I was younger I would have had a applied modal learning class where, hey, here's what the research says, and here's how to apply it, because maybe I wasn't so good the first few years. Pepperdine might have won a couple more championships if I had been better. Philosophy, maybe a little bit of balance. I think some things in life are more important than volleyball, but not when you're in the arena. Yeah. I think that's the mistake some people make. And I have some respect for a lot of respect for the athletes that I've coached, and I would listen to them. I would open-ended. I'd be, Karch, what do we need more of or less of, or Craig? And I think
sounds like a lot of relationship building and trust. Yeah. Trust, comes across as I hear you talk about that, being willing to trust your players, and obviously you're building that relationship over time. You have confidence in them, and you're teaching them a lot about the game, but they're experiencing a lot as well. Last question, what's next for you?
There's more meat on the bone, yeah.
Okay.
So I went in 1994, and
yeah.
I remember at the time, I think Jim Coleman was leading the charge there, a great friend, and I was a little hesitant because there was still more to come. And Yeah, I'm into it. I don't think I'm going to just coach until I wilt and die, or and if the teams were dog meat, if I wasn't relevant, if they weren't getting it, then I would probably look to do something else. But I enjoy coaching a lot.
Brings back some memories coming back to Holyoke, I'm sure.
Yeah,
of when you were
great
inducted.
memories. Yeah, but I want rain, I want snow. California, the wind chill in
That's
Malibu
right.
is 72 all the time. We got to have
Well, we'll
some good
see what
weather.
we can do. But it's been great having this chance again to connect and to talk. Thanks for taking the time. Congratulations again on obviously the induction back in '94, but all that you've done since then. We've been having a chance to speak today with Marv Dunphy, Volleyball Hall of Fame class of 1994. This is Volleyball in Perspective, and I'm your host, Joel Daring. Thank you for watching.